Hey everyone, welcome to today's session. So this is not a SQL class, okay? Let me highlight. This is not a SQL class. So I won't explaining any SQL basic like join or where or group. The expectation of this one, uh, discuss real SQL scenario-based interview questions, okay? So how interviewers can ask you this SQL related question in a BA interview, okay? So that's our goal is of this video, okay? So think like a BA and answer to this question, okay? So every scenario will follow up a loop like a business problem, look at the sample data and write the query and see the result, okay? Because most of the discussion you have to tell the query over the phone or like 101, or sometimes you get a paper you have to write, um, or sometimes you get a whiteboard to write the query, okay? So it depends on the company how they will give, or maybe an online exam, okay? Okay, so let me give you the application context here. So we are using a project online loan system. So there are two main tables, okay? One is customer table, stores personal details. One is loan application table, store the loan information, very basic, okay? So let's look at the sample data, okay? So here our customer table, we have the customer ID. Here are our customers, first name, and last name and email ID, we have city, very basic, okay? So one thing you have to notice, this Rahul appeared twice, okay? This happened in the real system also, we'll see later, okay? So second table, there are loan records, so 101, 102, loan ID and the customer ID. There is no customer name here, but here you can see the customer ID, and also here you can see the customer ID. Okay, so we can link these two table, join two table using the customer ID and the customer loan amount and the approved status. We have approved, failed, and the application date. Okay, so each loan connected customer we already discussed. Okay, I explained. Okay, so now let's take the question number one scenario. Okay, show all loan applications. So interviewer might ask you, um, we are using a loan application. It can be HR question, manager table, employee table, doesn't matter which table they're asking. So there will be a question. Show me all loan applications. Show me all products. Show me all employees. Oh, no filter, no explanation. Just give me all the data. Okay, so this is the key you have to remember, all the data. So when you hear the word all the data, so you how do you select everything? So select is the keyword you use. Asterisk is for all. From which table? Okay, so it's asking, they're asking, you have to listen which table interviewer asking. Loan application, right? That's the table name. And all, select asterisk from loan application. So here, this is the result will give. So there is no filter. The entire loan application table is the result. Okay, so you have to carefully listen what is the question is. So if we hear the word all, select asterisk and very simple which table. Okay, so there are some sample question. Let's go one by one. How do you fetch all records from table? Again, use select asterisk from table name to fetch every row. So this would be your answer, right? So sometimes they will ask generic question. So you can just use select asterisk from table name. Okay, very simple. So what are the potential risk of selecting select asterisk in production? This is a very valid question. The production tables are very big, right? Like if you use without filtering this asterisk, what will happen? Um, Everything it's try to fetch, right? The database can time out and it will slow. So here is the sample answer. Okay, it can fetch unnecessary column, right? Like it's not the simple like this in our example. In production data, it's huge table, so many features or columns are there, so we never use asterisk. Okay, slow queries, and increase memory usage, only select needed columns in production. Very, very important. Do not execute this command in production if it is your first day or testing environment. Make sure you select what field. So example, how do you select? If you need only customer ID 102, or if you need the loan, approved loan, so you can write loan status equal approved or failed. So you can add filters here. Okay, so make sure what columns you are looking for, especially in production. Okay, so next question, how would you limit records if the table had millions of rows, right? This valid. So you can limit here using limit condition, or top and rows equal to fetch only small subset. Okay, so we are not discussing the query here. So just to answer to this question, so you have to apply limit. How many limit 10 records, right? Like, let's say you want to see approved or failed loans, right? Let's say 1 million records are there. You want to see only top 10 records, or limit 10 records or 15 records. Okay, so these are valid questions. So let's move on to the next scenario. Only loan failed. So here what we are trying to do, we are trying to apply the filter. So here the first scenario, no filter, select all. So here we are trying to apply the failed, which is the filter. So here in the loan status, you can see we have approved and failed one. Okay, so query is we are applying. So up to this one. So select all, which table. So we are adding the filter here, right? Like where loan status, and you have to write inside the codes failed status. So that's the status you are looking for here, right? So you're looking for failed status. That's why you are adding here. Select all columns here from which table, and this is the condition. Loan status is the column name, and what is the actual value? Failed. We have approved and failed. Okay, so this is the result. We have two records. We call as this row as a record. Okay, so let's take a couple of questions here. How is filtering different from deleting data? Right. So filtering use where condition, only retrieve specific row. Deleting remove them permanently. Valid question. Okay. So even though this table has 4 record, right? Let's see. So you are only filtering failed one. It's not deleting the record. It's only giving the filter option you applied here, where condition you applied. So can you filter text, numbers, and the same way? Yes, where it can filter numeric, text, date, and other column style by syntax differ, right? So you can add your syntax, whatever the value you are looking for in this column name, and what value you will be want to filter. Okay. Why is filtering important in production systems? Reduce memory usage, because every query, it's a cost operation in production, so you have to be make sure you have to always we apply filter. We only fetch the records whatever we are looking for our purpose. Okay, so reduce memory usage, improve performance, and ensure see only relevant data is fetched, because there are millions of records in a table. Okay, scenario number 3, count and fail loans. Okay, so we are going to apply another function here. We keyword count. Okay, we are going to count record. Okay, so give me a number. How many loans failed? This is a valid question, right? So we are adding more layers to your select command, right? Select, right? Count all. So this count statement, you see, count all as failed loan. So we need the failed loans. How many failed loans? From loan application where loan status is failed. So this is the new label. It will say failed loans 2. So this is the new label. This is the status. This will give 2. So you will give failed loan. So whatever you return after as, it's going to show here, right? So 2, this just a label, okay, as label. So here is the actual status. So let's take a look at a few questions. Difference between count and count column. So count all rows. So use the asterisk is apply all. Count column means counts only rows where the column is not null, right? So sometime what is null mean, like there is no record here. Okay, if there is no record, So this is applicable. Where is our question? Count column. Counts only rows where the column is not null. Okay. So if the column is not null, it will count. Okay. So the next question, what happens if no loans fail? Okay. So count will return 0, right? If there is no status, so it will say fail loan 0, right? That's what written. Why are numbers preferred over raw data? Okay, so managers need quick insights, numbers, summarize data for decisions. So behind the scene, like you have seen dashboards, right? Like so many dashboards. Behind the scene, it's running a query, right? There are many dashboards, like okay, how many sales today, how many um, phones we sold, or like all the numbers calculation behind it's running a query. Okay, so that's why numbers are important when making decisions. So question scenario number 4, total approved loan. Okay, so we are going to take a sum, okay, of a column. So total approved loan. Okay, so select, instead of count, we are asking sum, loan amount. Okay, so we need the loan amount. So this is the label it's going to give the query, total approved amount from loan application table, and you are applying the condition, where condition you know what is the filter to be approved. Okay, so it's going to count all the approved loan amount here, right? Like where is our main table? So here we have 50,000, 70,000, so 120,000, all total amount, right? So total approved loan 120,000. This is the label it's using. It's not a column. Okay. So let's take some mock interview question for this scenario. Difference between sum and count. Sum adds numeric values. Count counts row. You got it, right? Sum add numeric value. Count. This is the row. So how does sum handle null values? Nulls are ignored in the sum. Okay, so if there is a null value, means there is no value, so these are ignored, right? If 70,000, 50,000, 0 is there, so the third row, the null values are ignored. Okay, so can sum be used on the on text columns? No, sum only works with the numeric columns, right? So this is very important question. Okay, so scenario number 5, duplicate customers. Okay, so let's see, you have seen Rahul in our original table. Rahul, one customer, I guess. Rahul is duplicate, 2 records are there, so that's the purpose we have this question. Okay, this is very important. I'm telling you, all the questions are important, but these are actual scenario when you are working with databases we need to take care of. So how do you handle duplicate customers? Let's go to the query. Okay, so here same customer apply twice, right? So select email count as total records from customers, group by having count all greater than 1. Okay, so here we are asking email, okay, greater than. So what you are asking, select email. So we are saying take the email ID. So if you give the some other column, so it will count the some other column. So it's saying select email column, count everything as total records. Okay, so it's taking total records. So email is counting a total record from customer table, group by email. Okay, so it is grouped by this condition to group, having count more than 1. So you understand the statement, right? If the email ID more than the same email ID appeared more than 1 record, right? So that's the understanding of. So that's the condition, having count all greater than 1. If more than 1, list them as total records here, right? Obviously minimum is 2. So if Rahul appear 3, so it will appear 3, 4, right? So that's the query, and that's the result. So let's take a few examples here. Mock interview question. Difference between where and having. Very important. Where filters before grouping. So you see, where filter we are applying before grouping. Here we don't have where. If where is there, so here we have to filter first. Okay, where. then group. Okay. Having filters after aggregation. So here having is there after we already group, then we are applying the this having condition. Okay, so always there these two tricky, and do more example, take more practice, so you'll get it here. Okay, so why are duplicates problematic, sorry, can cause errors in report, wrong calculations, and affect decision making. Let's say a customer deposit one check. If two time entered, the customer will get twice the money, right? Like just a one example I'm telling. So we have to handle. We should have only one record for one customer, or like that's a unique key is there. So I'm not getting to that. So always one record per one customer, or we need to handle, we should not allow duplicate. So there are some case we can accept duplicate, but most of the case we have to ask, are we allowing duplicate? Okay, so but this is a valid question. Okay, how would you prevent duplicates in production? You see that just now we talked about, right? So this use unique constraint or validation on insert update. Validate if this already record is there, or unique constraint. Okay, so always we handle this one. Scenario number 6, customer plus loan report. So we are making calculation. I want customer name with loan amount and status. So we are just making a dashboard here, right? So we are joining two tables. That's the condition we want to talk about. So how we customer data is one table, loan data is one table, right? So here we are taking what we need here. I want customer name with loan amount. So customer name is in the customer table, loan amount is in the loan table. Let me go and show you here, beginning of this one. So this is the customer table. Customer name is in the customer table. Loan application table, we have the loan amount. So we want to join together in order to make this report, right? So we are in scenario. Okay, scenario here. Select customer name and loan amount. Here you see we have a C dot customer name. So we are using C here. Where customer table we are using as C, and we are using the loan table as L. Okay, so here you can see that's why we are using C dot customer name, L dot loan amount, and loan status from customer C. So whatever here we are taking customer name from the customer table. So that's the left column, left table. And here we are taking loan amount and loan status from the loan application table. Okay, so that's the right table. On, so what is the common column here? If you remember when I was showing the table, I said loan ID, so the customer ID, I circle it. Customer ID is the common for here. So that's the joining condition we are using to join two tables. Okay. So result is as we need it here. We need customer name. Yes, we have customer name, and we have the loan amount and the loan status. All right. So let's take some example on join scenario. So why store data in separate tables? To avoid duplication, normalize data, and maintain integrity. Okay. So what happens if a customer has no loans? So they will not appear in an inner join. Use left join to include them. Okay, so I'm just reading out. I'm not going to explain this one, so it will get you more complex. But I'll make another video to talk about these join conditions. Okay, when would you use a join in real projects? Whenever you need related data from multiple tables to generate meaningful reports. Okay, scenario number 7, city-wise loan report. So total loan amount city-wise. Okay, so we are going to group this one. So that's the condition we want to use. So here we want to select from the customer table city, sum from the loan table loan amount, sum everything. This is the label we want to see, total loan amount. So customer table C, we are mentioning join loan application as L. So customer ID is the common key for both common column to join group by city. So you can see city, Toronto, we have 130 loan amount, Vancouver, etc. So we can make a beautiful dashboards running these queries. Okay. The question is, why group by is needed? To aggregate data for each unique group, right, city-wise. This is a valid scenario. Can you group by multiple columns? Yes, to summarize by combination like city, loan status, you can do generate beautiful dashboards. You can add group conditions. What happens if you remove group by? Aggregation function like sum will return a single total for all rows. Okay. Scenario number 8, second highest loan. Find second highest loan. Okay, so we descending ascending. Okay, max min conditions are used here. So here select max loan amount as second highest loan. Okay, from loan application this table where loan amount less than select max loan amount. This is a subquery from loan application. So this is the result we are expecting. I think we have in the table 70,000. Let me show you the table here. Okay, so we have 70,000. We want to have the second highest, which is the 50,000. That's the expected result is showing here, right? So let me go through the query again. So we are selecting the max loan as second highest loan. Okay, from loan application where loan amount less than select max. Okay, so we want to isolate the max loan, which is the 70,000, and loan amount max. Then this loan amount, select the less than the highest amount from loan application. So obviously this is the second highest loan. Okay, so that's the benchmark. So you take the 70,000, less than 70,000 will be listed here. Okay, so next questions here. Why this question is popular? It tests logical thinking and understanding of aggregation. Okay, so you guys have to remember this example. So you have to practice, not memorize. Okay, so you should be able to simply explain. What if the highest values repeats? If this query still finds the next lower distinct value. Okay, that's what happened. So let's say you are 250,000, it's returning only 150,000, right? So if you have a 40,000, you'll have 40,000, 30,000, 30,000. Only distinct value will be displayed. Other way to find a highest value, right? And mean numbered highest, so second or fourth highest value. So use row number or rank function in modern SQL databases. Yes, we can find fourth, third, fifth or something. Okay. Scenario, last scenario. 9, delete failed test loans. Okay, remove failed test loans. Always be careful. Production. I'm talking about production. Okay, so delete from loan application. Okay, where loan status fail. Okay, so you will not have access to even. I think in the testing environment you can delete, but you will not have any production data to play around. Okay, so just for your knowledge. Okay. Yeah, it's written illustration only. So always take backup and approval before delete. Okay, so this is remember, always take backup and approval for delete, but again you will not have any delete approval. So but you should know what is the query. Okay, so difference between delete and truncate. Delete removes selected rows, can be rolled back. Truncate, completely remove everything. All rows can be rolled out, cannot be rolled out, most DBs. Okay, so that's a different. They can ask simply, they will not give a query, they can ask what's the difference between truncate and delete. Delete can, it's like moving to recycle bin. So this is completely permanently delete. Truncate. Okay, can delete be rolled back? Yes, if used inside a transaction. Who approve deletion in production? Typically a DBO, project manager, approve before production deletion. Okay, so again, SQL is not about memorizing command, it's a solving business problem. So as a BA, you have to understand with the scenario how to use SQL. So every SQL query start from a real problem. So if you understand the problem, SQL commands, writing commands will be easy. So practice scenario based thinking, that's how you survive real projects and interview questions. Thank you all. Practice all scenario. Try modify data. Think like BA. Okay. Thanks everyone.